Good morning, my friends. Bobby left her car with me so I can fix it. I haven't exactly figured out what's going on yet, but today we are gonna figure it out. I did drive this thing yesterday, and to me, it was driving completely fine. I did a pull. First pull with the new clutch. She rips, had no issues. And then we went to dinner last night in this car, and it was running like complete shit. So it's some sort of fueling issue. I'm confident of it, and it's only doing it when it's warm. I have a feeling that it may be a fuel pump going bad, only when it's warm. I have experienced that before. It's cold out right now, so it's not gonna give me any issues. But I think once it warms up a little bit today, I'll probably diagnose it tonight. I gotta pull apart a K24 first for the Type R. I think once it warms up later, it's gonna start giving us issues again. Also, I need to get both of these AEM gauges working. My band took a shit, and the oil pressure took a shit. I'm gonna deal with Subaru problems later. For now, let's play with fun Hondas. Easy to work on Hondas. Gotta get the motor off of the subframe and trans and all that good stuff, and up on the engine stand. Cool. Good. All right, got the K24 chilling up on the stand. Let's go ahead and pull off all the accessories, get it down to just a bare long block. I do think I'm gonna redo this harness because there's so many additional harnesses I had to build. Oil pressure, boost, EBCS, drive-by-wire, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So I may end up redoing that down the road. But for now, I wanna tear into this motor. I can already see the rear main was leaking a little bit, ton of oil there, ports are a little bit wet. Whole backside of the motor's wet. Yeah, she needs to be gone through, boys. We now have a bare long block. Let's start popping this thing down. Valve cover, timing cover, oil pan, head, and see what's up. Curious what the internals are going to look like. Also, I'm retarded and left my 1/4 inch impact at the track when I was racing the 10. So I'm stuck with using the big boy on literally everything. The nice thing is so many of these parts are new with no miles that we can reuse so much of this. Okay, now we need to pull the head. So the cams are gonna come off with all the VTEC stuff. Remove the factory head bolts and the head will come off. Moment of truth. Let's see what's see if anything fun is going on down here. Well, right off the bat, looks like everything is pretty damn wet. Hopefully the block is fine and the gasket. Everything is so damn wet, it's hard to tell what was going on. I'm assuming this oil, or maybe even both oil gullies, because you can see this one would easily cover the back of the block. This one would fill that for sure. Everything is just soaked though. Like I said in yesterday's video, I'm not too concerned with what was actually going on as long as parts are usable that I need. I need the crank, I need the block. I don't need rods, I don't need pistons. Everything in here looks okay. Head should be plenty usable. Let's flip this thing over, tear apart the bottom end, throw away what we don't need, keep what we do need. Of course, we're gonna be using the baffle and oil pump that I just installed, which those are both K20 parts. And then I'll need the crank, I need the block, I need this girdle piece. Other than that, we should be good. A little bit of scoring on some of the bearings. Not sure how many miles are on this thing, but overall it's pretty good. Pretty nice. What the hell kind of socket is that? I don't know if I have one of those. Is that a Torx? Let's see here. I guess an E10 Torx. Wrong. E14 Torx is what that is. Rod bearings look pretty nice. Crank is beautiful. Also kind of fun, this is the first K series I've torn down completely. We got to do a little bit of work on the factory K20C1. Good grief, this thing is heavy. But we didn't tear it down to a nothing. We tried to do some head stuff. That is a heavy ass crank. Yeah, all the bearings look fine. So if she wasn't a leaker, we could have ran it for a while. A little bit of wear on the pistons, but once again, for the miles, I'm sure they had quite a bit of miles on them. They look perfect. Waiting on a couple parts, then the block can go to the machine shop. The head needs to go to the machine shop. I'm gonna drop this off, get it polished, and then it's playing the waiting game. I'm gonna get the shop cleaned up a bit, get Bobby's car in here, and figure out what the hell is going on with this fuel system. Before I move on to that car, I'm gonna mess around with this head a little bit. I want to get this thing very, 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 very clean. I think the shop that is gonna go through this head could sandblast it if I wanted, but I think I can actually get it to look better. So watch this time-lapse transformation. And now she is essentially a brand new looking cylinder head. So what I used was, first up is the Super Clean degreaser. That of course gets all the oil off. And then next up, to make it nice and bright aluminum again, I used the aluminum brightener from Napa. While I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and get all this oil staining off. I know it doesn't really matter, it's on the inside of the engine, but my OCD is getting the best of me right now. So I gotta pull that bolt out, pull some other stuff off, get the cams out. We're of course not using the cams, but we do need the gears. And then we can get all this cleaned up because it looks like poop. All right, got it all disassembled. It was a little bit confusing at first, but as soon as I started actually looking at it, it all makes sense. I'm gonna get it cleaned up, get it briefly reassembled, and as soon as the cam, springs, and retainers come in, we can drop everything off at the head shop. Well, I got a little bit carried away, ended up completely tearing down the head. Still have the valves in here. I'm gonna drop this thing off and get it decked, get it pressure checked, have them check the guides and the seats, just go through everything, make sure it's good to go. I decided I'm just gonna install the springs and retainers here myself. I have all the tools to do it. I don't know why I wouldn't. I can set the valve wash here. All that should be fairly easy. I'm suspecting a failed or failing fuel pump on this car. And the reason I'm suspecting that is I've actually had a similar issue in the past on a street bike. When it was hot out and the fuel pump got hot, it would shut off. So here's what we're gonna do. This car is utilizing a Beachworks X2 hanger with two DW300 pumps. As of right now, we are at, I know you guys can't see, but we're at about 48 PSI it looks like. I'm gonna pull one fuse and see what it drops to. Okay, we dropped to 37 PSI. Pull the other fuse and we're at 42 PSI. So, my suspicion, you can actually hear it too. Looks like my suspicion is right. One of the DW300 pumps is going out. Shout out to Bobby for recognizing that her car is not running right, because guess what? That would mean instead of swapping a fuel pump right now, we'd be swapping a motor, because she'd be dead and leaned out and burned to the ground. Let's pop the rear seat, pop the hanger out, and swap out I might swap both pumps if I have 2 new ones here, but I know I at least have 1 new DW300 pump laying around. Well, I marked the pump that was good, and then of course the gas wiped off the marking, so trying to remember which pump was the good one. I think I remember. Let's pull it apart, see if we see anything suspicious. Here is the sus pump. I'm not gonna do any testing or anything. I'm just gonna replace it. The only 300 pump I have here is a DW300C. As you can see, it's a little bit shorter. They both flow the same exact amount, so that's not a problem. But as long as I can get it to fit in the hanger, we should be good. If not, sorry Bobby, but you ain't getting your car again. Got her to squeeze in there. As you can see, it's a bit shorter, but same flow, so we should be good. Let's get her back together and confirm that this pump actually works like it should. Okay, hanger's back in the car. Doing a little testing up here now with the fuses to make sure. Okay, what the frick? Same thing. So either, gosh damn it, either I swapped the wrong pump or that 300C is not putting out as much as the regular 300. I don't know. I don't know. I am very, very, very confident it is the fuel pumps. I don't see why 2 of the same exact pumps would put out different pressures. So I'm just gonna order up 2 AEM 340 LPH pumps, swap them out from the Detroits to the AEMs, and then just go from there. And that should fix the problem. Sorry, Bobby, your car's gonna be down for a couple days, but you can drive the M. All right, can wrap it up right here. The things that drive by my shop. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my good friends, and I'll see you boys in the next episode of the Civic.